Hey, I'm Mark Peters. I authored the book, The Source, and we're going to do a little unplugged. Yeah, so what did I want to do when I was a kid? That's a great question. I think when you're a kid, you don't know. One of my earliest memories, and in my head, I'm about 5 years old, was walking through the plant with my dad. And I can remember being like, I want to work here someday. And so I think that through all of the other things that I may or may not have wanted to do, I always wanted to work in a family business. It's just one of my earliest memories. My interesting writing quirk. So probably that I like to do creative writing, like poems and short stories and stuff like that. The idea of writing a book like The Source, probably not what I imagined myself publishing years ago. So I got the idea of The Source from a friend and a mentor of mine. He wrote one of the endorsements, Greg McCann, and we've had this awesome relationship for a long time. I met him doing some of the family business work that I've done, and he was a professor at Stetson University at the time, and we just had this great bond. We always talk about important issues, and he's been friend, mentor, protagonist, but he just kept ribbing me like, you gotta write a book. I'm like, dude, what am I gonna write a book about? And we're having dinner one time, and we were talking about The Source and what was going on, and I was probably speaking about it at some point, and he's like, I think you have your book. I was like, what? He's like, I think you just found your book. And I was like, actually, I could probably do that. And so that was really the start that got me to begin the process of writing a book. What do I do when I'm not writing? Well, I still do have a business. Butterball Farms is my primary business. I have a lot of interests. I never have a lack of things to do. So my primary business, I also have sort of a real estate holding company. But I love to be a dad, so spending time with my daughter when I can. She's getting a little older, a little more independent, so that's doesn't take as much of my time now. I also have learned to keep bees. That's a new thing. So last year I got honey for myself, and I started doing some gardening. So I have some estate gardens, and I have a 10-tree orchard. So I do some of that, and then I like to water ski. I'd like to bike. I like to drive cars. There's a lot of stuff I like to do, but I really, I do really enjoy the work that I do. I've enjoyed some of the outcomes of the book, people I get to talk to because of it, who are also interested in having an impact. I just find life kind of interesting, so. Oh my word, favorite and non-favorite in publishing the book. I think, you kind of energize when you get started, and then it's a slog. It takes a lot of time, and there was some points where it was kind of the direction wasn't very clear. And you sort of feel like giving up, like, I don't know if I really need to spend the time doing this. And then you finally get it done, right? You finally get, okay, we're done with it. We're calling it good. But then there was, okay, now we've got to publish it. Now we've got to do the cover design, and we've got all of these things that were like all new to me. And so it was sort of this rhythm of, oh, we're almost, oh no, we got one more thing to do. Oh, okay, when we get that done, oh no, we still got to do that. So it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And doing the marketing and a promotion now is a lot more fun. then the publishing was sort of like, you just have to get through that. How many finished and unfinished books do I have? But I'm glad the question is about books, because I've started my second book, but I've got a process, so I'm not like stalled out or have writer's block or haven't gotten to it. We're working through it. But if you ask me about like finished and unfinished projects, I have a long list of stuff that I start and don't finish. But no books, I'm pretty clean. So people have asked me, like, what does success look like for you with a book? You know, you can, when you're talking about your business, you're like, that's a great question. What does success look like? If we're going to do this project, what does it look like? Well, it means we're going to, enter this market, or we're going to be, we're going to get these customers, or we're going to launch this product, or whatever it is. And so success for me with this book and subsequent would be, say, a year from now or 2 years from now, if there were examples of people who had read this book and it became a catalyst for change in the way they ran their organization, I'm good. That's it. I mean, I don't need to sell 10,000 books or whatever the numbers are. If there were legitimate stories of people who made change and it started, the seed that started the change was this book, I'd be super happy. My favorite childhood book, I don't know. So it depends on what age you're talking about. If I was really young, Babar the Elephant, for whatever reason, was a favorite childhood book, and I'm not sure I remember exactly why. I actually have a little Babar elephant thing on the mirror in my bathroom today. So I had some attachment to Babar the Elephant. As I got a little older, there was a series of book called, I think it was the Tom Swift books, and they were sort of akin to Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, kind of that same sort of a genre, I guess. So I guess if I had to pick a couple right off the top of my head, those would probably be two from different times in my life. I think success to me means, having a positive impact, and helping people be successful. And I'll give you a good example. I'll give you what I think is a good example. I used to tutor kids in math, and it's fourth and fifth graders. And I always ask for like the ADD kids, because I get them. I mean, I understand why they get bored in class, and so I'd usually get 2, sometimes 3 kids to work with together at the same time. And so, us ADD folks are a little tough to stay focused, but what I would tell them is, I'd say, you're either going to love math or you're going to hate math by the end of the semester. And at the beginning of the semester, they're like, well, that's easy, we're going to hate math. I'm like, well, we'll see. And but then I said, if we stay focused during class time, we're going to get all your homework done, so you won't have to do any math homework. And they're like, really? Like, yep. So that's what we would do. And what I learned and what these kids found out is a lot of their misunderstanding had to do with the terminology in math, not actually the math. And so once these kids started having these little epiphanies, they were awesome. Like I had kids that went from the middle of the class to being near the top of the class as a math student, because of these little, not because there was these, all of this long time spent studying, but just small ways of looking at the problem that was in front of them. So I think when people get those ahas, those little things that change everything the way you look at a problem, that's the stuff I love. I'm happy to say that we're on social media. You can contact me there with any questions. And I think one of the things that would be great is if you're watching this and you have an enterprise or you're interested in doing this kind of work, or you're already doing something like this, please go to our website and we want to promote other organizations that are doing this kind of work around the country. And we'd love to have you join our network and stay informed about the work that we're doing. Because again, what I've found is that there are people around the country trying to do this kind of thing, either one-off in their own business, or there's a nonprofit that's trying to impact a bunch of businesses, and they're having a really hard time getting traction. And they're like, they just don't know that there's other people in the country doing this work. And so we sort of want to build a book of practice around this. And so the more people that we can capture that are doing things similar to what's in the book, we'd love to know about it. We'd love to have you be part of the network. Yeah, so this is my book, The Source, and it's available on Amazon. Just search Mark Peters and The Source, and it'll come right up. Of course, I'd love everybody to read the book because, it's part of it's my personal story. But I really, really want business leaders that have influence over the structure and culture of their organizations to read this book and to really think about ways that they can structurally change their business to help stabilize their workforce and impact our communities.